Some lyrics: how many bungalows, my lonely bungalow lonely, how many bungalows I have with you, how many bungalows I have with you, how many bungalows I have with you, I don't care how many bungalows. Hey guys, so in the last couple of videos we generated some song lyrics with our deep learning model and then deployed it to our local machine. But wouldn't it be nice to just share it with friends? Well, today we're gonna do just that. So what you see here on the screen is exactly the same app that we had deployed on our local machine. The only difference now, it's online, and today we are gonna try to achieve just that from scratch. So just create a new application on Google Cloud and upload our API, our app, and our PyTorch model together with it. For now, we can just input some lyrics, and while the monkeys will generate some text, we can go through the instructions in my GitHub. So for the lyrics, let's just do that. Yes, so the monkeys will generate the text, and as for the instructions, as I said, we are in the GitHub. I'll leave the link down below. And today we are looking not at the first part of local, but at the second part of deploying to Google Cloud. So instructions assume a couple of things. Well, the first assumption you should make is increase the text. Yeah. So as I said, the instructions assume a couple of things. The first one being is that you already locally deployed the model and the API as is instructed in here in the first part, and you can watch the previous video to do that. And a couple of other things, which are that you are registered to the Google Cloud and have an account there, and you have a Cloud SDK installed in your PC. So going through that, there's mainly two parts to the instructions. First is just creating the little needed stuff on the Google Cloud Console itself, and then the actual deployment of your Docker image for the API and the app itself. So having said that, let's get into the first step and start with the instructions. So step one is to open up your Google Console, and when you open it up, you should see something like this if you have projects, and if you don't, it will be just a starting window where it will ask if you want to create your first project. So to create the project, you just press here and new project, and when it loads up, just name your project. So let's say YouTube NLP, and you click create. There, as you can see, Google Cloud had some issues yesterday, so I have to refilm this today, but hopefully it will create it today. So the project is created, and the notification just popped up. What we do now is switch to that, let the project load, and then what you're gonna do now is go to the Kubernetes Engine API, which you can access here. Well, for you it should be here. And then just wait for a couple seconds to load the first screen, and then the Kubernetes Engine API will enable in a minute or so. So while that's doing that, we can switch to our API directory, because what you're gonna need to do now is build the Docker image for the API and then upload it to the Google Cloud. So at this point we already went through the first 7 steps of our tutorial, and what we need to do now, while the Kubernetes Engine API is being enabled, we need to switch to our API directory in the repository to build the Docker image. So your repository, when cloned, should look like this. And the first directory that you see here is the API directory. So we just open up a terminal and we switch to that. Yeah, so I'm in there. If you can see, here is the API and Docker file, and the same is listed here. So now at the 8th step, what we're gonna do is follow a bit altered version of the Google tutorial how to upload your Docker image to Google Cloud. And for that, we firstly need to install the kubectl for the Google Cloud command line program. I already have that, so I'll just skip that step. Afterwards, what you're gonna do is export a variable called project ID. This is just for later use in our code for us to get around easier. So just copy this line, paste it in the terminal, and then change the project ID with your actual project ID. So you will find your project ID here. Just click on the name, and here's the ID. Copy that. And then delete the project ID in brackets, paste the ID here, that's it. Afterwards, as we are already in the API directory, what we're gonna do now is build the Docker image with appropriate tag for us to later on upload it to Google Cloud. So just copy this line with the dot. Don't leave the dot out because the dot says that build from here, and paste it in your terminal. So now if I'll press that, it won't work because I don't have my Docker daemon running. So just make sure that you have it running at the time of building the image, because it won't build. Just for a simple example. And here's the error. And now if we would run the Docker daemon, and it's building. So it should take a bit more time for you. It doesn't take that much for me because I already have built the image before. Let's just move this one out. So let's say here, cool. So the Docker image is already built. Now we need to push the image to the Google Cloud, and we'll do that just following these steps below. You can list the Docker images and check that it is actually built, but you'll see that from the command line anyways. So firstly we need to authenticate Google Cloud to the Docker configuration. Cool. And now we just need to push the image. So once again, I already pushed the image before, so it shouldn't take that long. Oh, it's in the project. It will take the same amount of time for you as well then. And yeah, that will be it with the image. And now we're gonna switch to the building of Kubernetes engine and building a cluster, and then assigning that cluster with the Docker image we just pushed. So now the image is in Google Cloud already. All we need to do now is to deploy that image to a Kubernetes cluster. And yeah, let's do that. So we just copy this line here and paste it without changing it whatsoever because we already set the project ID before. And then we need to set the compute engine zone. Now for the zone, I suggest you use US Central 1C, but you can choose whatever zone you like. The only thing is the zone that you're using for the cluster, where the API will be, and the zone you will be using for the app should be the same. So yeah, just choose wisely and don't mess up with that one. So just copy this if you selected to use US Central. You can find all the zones here in the link and change the compute engine zone with the actual zone. And that should do that. And now we're gonna create a cluster. Yeah. So it will take a bit of time to create the actual cluster, and we're gonna check in that after it's created. So the cluster has been created, you can see that in the command line here, and just to check, we can do this, and it should show all the instance list. Yeah, so everything's in place, shown here. Now we need to create a deployment from our Docker image. So just let's clean the terminal and copy this, paste it here, and it should create the deployment. So it will take a couple of minutes for the pods to start up. Like, we can check it now and you'll see that there's a difference. Yeah, so you can see that it's still creating and the pods are not ready. So I'm gonna wait for it, and you don't really need to in the video, so I'll just stop for now and come back when it's created. So as you can see here in the terminal, the pod is running, and what we're gonna do now is expose our API to outside use. We need that for the app to actually call to the API and get a call back from it. And we're gonna do that with a simple line here. Yep, and then we just need to check terminal IP for our API, which we're gonna go through this. So it's still pending. Once again, you need to wait a bit. Shouldn't take that long, it's up to a minute. So as you can see here, our API has been exposed and we have an external IP for it now. And with that, we are pretty much finished with the Google tutorial, and now we're gonna switch to the app part to build our front-end application and, well, not build, just upload it to the Google Cloud. So you need to copy this API, and then what you're gonna do is switch to the app directory in the repository and open up the app.p file. Just make it bigger, and then you're gonna go pretty much to the very end, and you see this line, and what you need to do is just change those zeros for the AP to your API AP here, and save it. Then close the app.p, and we need to rename it to main.p because Google Cloud, differently from Heroku, uses this naming for the applications. So just name it main. And then, yeah, I have a leftover pip file, so just delete that. And we should be pretty much done. So, yeah, what we need to do now is to actually create the app, well, in the Google Cloud. So we just switch back to the Google Cloud. You'll see that your cluster is running, it's up here. And we need to go to the App Engine. Just open it for now and let it load. Yeah, so everything should be fine here. And we can just go and deploy our app to the Google Cloud. So once again, we are now we just did step 10 and we are at step 11. And we need to switch to the app directory first in our repository. So mine is here. Just tell us to check that we are in the same directory. We are. And what we need to do now is deploy the app with this simple command. So it will take a couple minutes. Oh, sorry. It will take up a couple of minutes when I select the region. So we need to select the region now, and as I said before, the region you selected for the API should be the same for the app. So we did US Central C, and you can check that all, like if you follow the instructions, you can check it here. Yeah, so we did US Central, and we're gonna do here the same. So we have US Central as number 13. Cool. Hopefully it's not Friday today. So the app is up and running now, and let's just clean up the terminal. And if you want to check out the app, because of course you do, all you need is to do is, well, it's here. So gcloud app browse, and it should open up your browser with a screen. Yeah, so let's input some lyrics and see if our API connection works. So for lyrics, we'll just use some lyrics. Cool. So as you can see, the GIF didn't load here, and it happens sometimes, and if any one of you can fix that, well, feel free to do that and just leave a comment down below how you did it, because I tried for a couple of hours and yeah, it just didn't work. But most of the time it works. So yeah, some lyrics: how many bungalows, my lonely bungalow lonely, how many bungalows I have with you, how many bungalows I have with you, how many bungalows I have with you, I don't care how many bungalows. Cool. So as you can see, the app works, it's online, and the API works as well. So yeah, as always, it's been great sharing some of my work with you guys. And just the last thing before I forget. So Google Cloud is not free, of course, but if you register the account like for the first time, it's 12 months and $300 in credit. So you have $300 to spend on things like that. So if you want to make a silly app to actually generate modern talking lyrics, feel free to do that. And if you don't want to, use up your resources, you need to shut down the application. You can do that in here. We can just refresh this to see that our app is actually up. Yeah, our application has been created. It's deployed. Come on, dude. So I can go to home. So if you want to shut down your application to not incur any charges, what you need to do is go here and click Project Settings, and then Shut Down. If you click that, you'll see that all billing and traffic stops immediately after you shut down. So you just need to enter the ID of the application, which is here, and then click Shut Down, and it will be fully shut down in 30 days. But after clicking that, all billing and traffic will be stopped, so nobody will be able to access your application, but you won't incur any bills. And that's that. So let's turn back to our application now. Yeah, so what we did, hopefully in 10 to 20 minutes, is deploy an application and API with a PyTorch model in it to Google Cloud, and now your friends can access it and check out some sweet lyrics. And as always, it was great sharing some work with you guys. It's done with the NLP for me now, and I'm gonna try to switch to some computer vision. So if you would like to see that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you like the video and find it useful, please leave a like. And yeah, bye.